What's going on? Welcome to the Hold a Husband podcast. I'm your host, Terry Durine. I got my co-host, SD, in the building with me today. What's good, bro?
Nothing, man. Glad to be back, man. Adulting, man, keeps you away for a little bit, but I'm glad to be back and get this episode on the road. But first, let me give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold a Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the core94.com. We don't have Jay with us this week. I want to send him a shout out. He just had his 40th birthday. I wasn't able to make it to get together due to parenting responsibilities, but I did want to give him a shout out. We'll have him back next episode. This episode is titled Path to Marriage, and we just gonna have a discussion about why it's so difficult for dating situations to actually develop into successful marriages. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we seen trending on our timelines. So we got a couple interesting videos to discuss this week. This first video talks about why it's so hard for good guys in the dating market these days. Let's take a look.
The thing I see every day is incredible dudes who work really hard. And a lot of them make a lot of money. Some of them don't. And they're just great dudes. And what you see is under the age of 30, 63% of men are single, but only 33% of women are single. I'm not saying women's standards are too high. What I'm saying is whatever women's standards are, they're leaving good men behind. And then the way they cope with it is by saying that, well, there's not that many men to choose from. You see someone who's physically unattractive. What does your brain and your body do to react to it? What happens in general is people dehumanize other humans that they see as being physically unattractive, but women do it more than men. Most of the time, about 80% of guys, you don't even see that. If a man is not attractive to you, you don't even see them there. But because of the way social media, dating apps, and things like Panther and Only, what they've done is they've made it so that for a lot of women, it's become unrealistic for you to settle for a good man.
Now, we've talked about this multiple times. There is this inflation of, dating market value that results from women getting gassed up on social media, people telling them, making excuses about their flaws or shortcomings, and all the enhancements or artificial beauty that they get to benefit from. So it is a lot harder for the average guy out here in the dating market that don't have followers, don't have a lot of money or whatnot. And so it makes it seem like, well, damn, man, do you have to just learn to play the game? Or do you have to, like, I understand why so many guys resort to finessing and using fuckboy tactics. Because just being a solid dude with a that could provide a stable life ain't really good enough for most women these days.
Bro, yeah. I mean, playing the game gets you what you want in most cases. For most men. That's why in this study he talking about 63% of men are not only single, but they're sexless also. So when women complain about the men not being no good and being dogs, they only talking about maybe 20% of the men.
Small percent.
That most of them are dating. That's why they have apps, the T app. That's why they got groups on Facebook. Are we dating the same guy? Absolutely you are. We have that right now in plain view with the Cardi B. We have that in plain view. She left a hoe and got with a bigger hoe. That's got two other women pregnant at the same time as her being pregnant. Why?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. But listen to what I'm saying. Very few women do what Sierra did. Very few women get with the whole guy, man, mess up with him, pop out a baby, and then completely change and go get the stand-up guy that a whole bunch of chicks ain't really checking for like that out in the open, and he ain't popping like that. What do? They jump from one hole to the next hole because that's what women love. Because like this man said,
exciting.
Most of the guys, yeah, he got money, looks, height, charisma, whatever. Most of the men don't have that. So most women don't even see those guys when they step outside. He is 100% right about this. The problem is that they take that small percentage of men that they date and have horrible experiences with and make it blanket for all men, even though they have these guys that's in a friend zone that would treat them like queens. They don't want that.
Yeah. And on top of that, they get pandered to. They get told all this false information about how men really, operate, how to identify a quality man. So they use these silly tactics and tricks and all these type of things that actually disqualify them from the type of men that they ultimately look for. Like I remember a while back, you put up that survey with the number one type of person and number, like the number was the number 7 guy. Dude with a nice career, treat you, with respect and whatnot. That's what most women ultimately claim that they want. But the way that they make their dating decisions, they don't want that dude when he's 25 and he's on his path to becoming 6 figures. They want him at the final version. And that, I think that's where a lot of them go wrong. They want this finished version of this perfect dude. And it's like, man, you had plenty of dudes that were on the path to become that, but you called him broke. You curved him because you had some athlete that was blowing your back out or flying you out. So I think a lot of them were just misled, and they missed their golden opportunities with dudes that are quality husbands.
Absolutely, man. Because what women don't understand, because they get so much attention from men, that as they age, their chances of getting that finished product dwindles exponentially. Like it dwindles so much because this dude can date different as his money grows. He don't have to date you. So now you don't really fit. A lot of these women don't really fit or don't really qualify for him as they age. You're older. You've got more trauma from other men. You have a harder time having kids. You've become more masculine in the process. You don't look as good. Your titties fail. Your booty bigger. You done got 30, 40 extra pounds on you. So now it becomes harder. That's why they complain when dudes date younger women. But see, we know this to be true, like the survey that you referenced, that women want the same guy. They want, if you really listen to them and listen to the panderers, I talked about this last night, they have women believing that there's this unicorn perfect man out here that's going to have everything that you want. And if he don't have everything that you think that you want, he's not good enough to date. That's why that post that I did had different things where he was shortcoming maybe in height, or he was shortcoming maybe in money, or he was shortcoming in the shortcoming area that women like to do not to be shortcoming in. And they passed up all those guys because they wanted this particular guy. And that's why so many of them are single and waiting on this particular guy, which typically is a hoe. That man is usually a hoe. And if he ain't,
or a former one,
lucky. Yeah. And if she can get him, she is lucky to have him. I said on another post, let me say this real quick. I said on another post that getting a dude that most women want is like hitting the lotto. Right? But it's like hitting the lotto. So if you went outside and you and 10 of your girls said, hey, we gonna hit the Powerball. We know we gonna hit the Powerball. All right, out here. People would be like,
yeah,
okay,
right.
Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. That's what women do out here in the dating world. All of them think they gonna hit the Powerball, but most of them, but we can't. They can't even hit the local
That ain't even
lottery.
Realistic though.
That's what I'm saying.
We know when it comes to like expectations of a spouse, there's no such thing as perfect. Like anybody
Absolutely
that you get
not.
with, they gonna do stuff to get on your nerves. They gonna do stuff a different way than you would do certain things. That's why you have to compromise. That's why you have to work together. And I think men, for a lot of reasons, are a lot more realistic as far as what they expect. Maybe it's our generation. Maybe these younger dudes are expecting this baddie. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what the younger generation's really expectations of each other are. Because I see some stuff that guys say that's unrealistic, like women that we wouldn't even take serious, they're like making those type of chicks their relationship goals. So the whole shift of what husband or wife material is seems to be changing for the younger generation, because They don't
I
seem
don't
to
think
be.
so.
You don't think it
Not for
is?
the guys. Not for the guys. Because most guys, Terry, most dudes are beating off every day. Most dudes are beating off every day. They will take
I mean,
men are
okay, but even then, even a dude that's doing that, he's still not gonna just take an unattractive chick or out of, you know what I'm saying? Like they're still gonna have standards of what they're envisioning of what they did, what type of chick that they would get.
Terry. In the studies, men are okay with the chick not being as attractive. Men will go down in attraction to go up in other areas. Men aren't as picky like that. And I ain't gonna say men. The top percentile of men are picky because they can be. But the bottom
True.
percentile of 70% of men that cannot get women like that, these dudes don't have the opportunity to be picky. They glad if a chick, that's why so many dudes on social media making call, oh, you're so gorgeous. And you be like, what? What are you talking about? They want any attention and anything from a woman. But those women that's in their bracket, those women that's actually in their lane don't want them. We see it every day on Kendra G show. We see 3s, 4s, and maybe a 5 every day. What is their
Warner
standard?
Prince.
What is
Yeah.
the standard for most of them when it comes to money, Terry? What's the
At
bottom
least
line?
at least 6 figures, but a lot of
It-
them on Kendra show say 200 and 300. Like they really
but
be
this what
tripping.
I'm saying. This what I'm saying. Regardless of how they look, regardless of how they act, regardless of their situation and how they're shaped, they still want the top percentile of men, which in essence eliminates 90 some percent of all the other men. So those guys that's in the lower percentile that don't get that type of, don't get women like that, they will take lower tier, lower looking, lower educated, whatever women just to have some companionship, because that's the most dangerous thing to a man is not having no companionship with a woman. That's even during all the studies they say. That's why they called incels. That's why most of them is they violent out here when they can't get a woman. So I
It's
don't think
hard.
men now is
It's
like
hard to relate to that, man. But I get it,
that.
man. I just it's such a, being an older person looking at the behavior patterns of the younger generation. It's like, man, the marriage rate, the birth rate, everything is just going to continue to drop, and the mentalities, even the ones that get married, they gonna end up divorced with the mentalities that they have. So it's real unfortunate. But let's keep things rolling. I wanted to bring up this next video. This next post talks about how affairs typically take place, usually at the workplace. Let's take a look.
85% of affairs start at
Workplace,
work.
baby.
1 in 5 employees confess to being unfaithful with a colleague. We're talking about this feels like a massive risk.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I'm spending more time with her
Well, of
or
course.
him than I am with my spouse.
That's right.
And the time we're spending together is rich. We're laughing, telling jokes. Oh my gosh. Of course it happens at work.
Right.
It's oxygen.
Yeah.
How many of us go home and we pull into our street
Yeah.
and you just,
Right.
right?
Right.
But even when it's negative,
Yeah.
y'all are negative together.
Right.
It's y'all two versus the boss. It's y'all two versus the customer. It's
Right.
y'all two versus the salesman.
Right. And by the way, everybody's got their makeup on. I was raised in a world where it's like you never ride in a car with a woman that's not your spouse. I was raised in a world like you don't have a meeting in a room with a closed door. That seems insane.
Now, I will give you props. You are one of the most disciplined people I know in regards to messing with coworkers and things of that nature. But the general sentiment or the philosophy behind it, it was something that I was taught. I remember I mentioned it before when me and my wife were going through premarital counseling. One of the facts, they come with a list of information. And one of the things said that within 300 hours of being around one another, the question of whether or not a man or woman is going to have sex, it will be answered, whether it's direct or indirect. You know what I mean? Like, so, and when I read it, I thought about it because there were, I was the king of smashing chicks at the work center and all that. And there were lots of situations where it took time to get comfortable. It took time for me to learn about her boyfriend, and he was a goofy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the time that you spend around somebody where there's at least a little physical attraction, man, that grows and develops over time as you actually get to know the people. And so that being around coworkers, being around people that know what's going on in your personal life and support you in all these different ways, that leads to these romances, so that even in situations like the prisons with the prison guards and all that, it's kind of the same philosophy. They spend so much time around each other and learning about, especially from the guy perspective, they soaking in all kind of information about the female correction officer that none of the men she date is gonna have the time to focus on her like that, I don't think. So what'd you think of it?
I think he's spot on. I've seen it. I've never talked to a woman at work, but this is why I don't play that work husband, work wife type stuff. I mean, I ain't never been married. I ain't never had no work wife or nothing like that. But I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people. Listen, I have seen people start these type of relationships, and it don't take long for it to get sexual. I've seen people, marriages get ruined. I've seen people get fired. I have been offered head, sex, everything at work. And I'm like, no. And I was single at the time. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I wasn't single when I was with my last ex. And I'm like, no, ain't no way. It's just a dangerous game. But, I just don't think that, men and women can just be friendly with people of the opposite sex, even at work. Because if you're attractive, one of y'all gonna have some type of feeling. Men typically have it anyway. Be like, man, I'll smash shorty guts in, unless she's completely horrible. But outside of that, I just,
Yeah,
I don't really like all that.
I was single at the time, you know what I'm saying, when I was doing my thing, but you're right. Anytime I've been around girls in any capacity over an extended period of time, I'm trying to smash. Whether that's school, whether that's class, whether that's boys and girls club over the summer, any scenario where I'm around the same chicks repeatedly, I have the one. I figured out who I like, who I'm interested in, and I'm figuring out who like me. You know what I mean? Like, so again, I don't know if guys, go to the degree that I did, strategizing in logistics of, getting chicks and new women. But it's definitely something. Any classroom. That's what I look forward to the first day of school. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And who
yeah,
knew?
facts.
Yeah. Seeing
Who's
who
the
look
new
good.
chick? Who done stepped their game up over the summer? Who done got fined? Like, so those type of things, I assumed that's how, most guys operated, but at least even if I'm not gonna do something, I know in my mind who I would smash. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
having that
and put in
discipline to
that,
not act on it though.
yeah, put in that scenario. Like this is how most men think. That's why I really don't think men and women can be just friends if they didn't like grow up together or something like that, like brother and sister. I don't think it's possible
Well, let me
because
ask you this. When you
go
say
ahead.
just friends, does having,
Yeah,
okay, platonic mean you haven't done anything, but having
yeah.
somebody you wish or you would secretly smash, are y'all still platonic friends? Does that still count as platonic
No.
in your
Wait. Time out. Ask that
like?
question again. Ask that question
So
again.
so okay, y'all cool, but y'all have never
Yeah.
done anything. But
Okay.
she's fine, and you would definitely smash if given the opportunity. Are y'all still
No.
platonic friends, or
No.
you and the friend like?
No. No. You are platonic by default. And when you're platonic, by default, which pretty much every guy that's a friend to a woman he's platonic by default, unless he likes one of her girls and he's just trying to get in good with her, trying to get put on with her girl. In that instance, okay, cool. But outside of that, guys are platonic by default. It's because the woman don't like him like that and don't like him sexually. So if you're that, everything that you're doing has a underhanded meaning behind it because you really want her. So now
Even if he realized he ain't got a shot, like she's out of his league or whatever the case may be.
no, bro. No, because he might not have a shot now, but you do not know that dudes will hang around for that door to open just a crack when he really like a chick. So he gon' I would never do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. That's messed up, man. And he did that to you, man. You know how it is. A shoulder to line, a shoulder to cry is what.
Yeah, that I mean that is true to a large degree. Because I've had some. Well, nah, I take that back, man. I sucked at being platonic friends. I
That's what
smashed
I'm
all my
saying.
female friends and ruined a lot of friendships over that.
Hey,
Where
man.
I knew I would never be their boyfriend, but I
Yeah,
knew like I couldn't. The sexual tension eventually became,
too
too
much,
hard to.
Terry. There in my mind, there is no benefit to having a platonic female friend. None in my mind, because the benefit that they get from having you as a platonic male friend, what happens when y'all go out? Who pays typically?
The dude's gonna buy the
The man.
drinks.
The man, right? Now, what else she get? She gets a protector because you're a guy. If something happens, guess what she expects you to do? She expect you to jump in
Facts.
and protect her, potentially risking your life. And what do you get out of it? Exactly. You don't need her advice on women. You don't need none of that type stuff. You ain't getting no coochie. So what do you get? Nothing. So you just become an emotional tampon for her and, and financially responsible and protection for her, security for her when you go out. That's it. That's why most men don't want to be platonic friends, because it's too much. It's so much responsibility with none of the benefits. You got the responsibility of a
Well, to
girlfriend, but
me,
you don't get
if so majority of the platonic friendships that I've had with women, the only time that has really been successful is if she was somebody that was off limits. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my homeboys, girls, or baby. Something like that. To where in my brain I know she's
uh,
smashable, but I ain't never trying to smash because of she's off limits. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
yeah,
but
that's
that
different.
yeah, I was gonna say that boundary has always made it easier for me. Because like you said, my wife has all kind of attractive friends that I've actually slept with some different people that back in college or whatnot. But the ones that
This
are off
dude here.
limits, I don't. I mean, this is before we were together. So, but if the person is off limits, that to me, if you have a code that you actually live by and you're not that type of dude, that makes it a lot easier to not say sexual comments. You know what I'm saying? Like to not behave how I would do towards a chick that I'm actually trying to gauge her attraction to me. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you something. Let's say this before you met your wife. You met your wife. A guy, he just talking to this chick, they just smashing, whatever the case. Y'all become cool, she around, whatever. But he don't really like her like that. It's just something that he doing, she around, whatever the case. Bang, they done. They through. He ain't really care for it like that. Shorty and y'all still cool, hit each other up. Nah, she fine. She bad.
Oh yeah,
Hold on. You know your boy don't really care for her, and would you then hit?
absolutely.
That's
Me and my friends
because you
have.
wanna know why? This is what I'm saying. Ain't no platonic unless that's your boy's wife or a serious girlfriend.
Baby
Outside of
mama or
that,
something like that. Yeah.
or baby mama. Outside of that, man, listen, ain't no platonic, man. The men don't want to be platonic. They're platonic by default, ladies. I don't care what this fool tell you. He is waiting.
Well,
He is waiting, man.
yeah, because no guy comes up to a chick hoping to be her buddy or her friend. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
come
so,
on.
so you're right. That does happen by you figure out
Default.
where you are. Like I said, that 300 hours, you figure there's gonna be some flirting, there's gonna be some type of comments. And so like when I was at the call center, man, my conversations with the daily greetings and things of that nature are gonna be tailored to show sexual interest. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna let you know I
Hmm.
think you're fine. Oh, and I'm gonna be
I'm telling you.
using our conversations to flirt. You know what I'm saying? Like your cologne game, chicks asking you what you got on and what you
I'm
wearing,
telling
and
you,
ooh,
man.
and like
I'm
just a
like,
little. the little man, I don't want to have to beat your boyfriend up little type of comments. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh man.
to let
Hey man. That's what I'm saying, but I'm saying you throwing out me, I'm like, yo, man, your big toe looking thick. Wee. Look at that. Look at that. Look at them fat feet, sweetheart. Now I ain't gonna talk about her boyfriend. He might be 6'8", 390. Now I'm gonna leave that alone. But I'm just saying, man, that's what men do. And if they tell you anything different, they lying. Or they gay. One of the two.
All right, man. Looks like we up against the clock. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into today's topic: the path to marriage and why it's so difficult for dating situations to actually develop into marriages. You are tuned in to the Ho to Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. Today's episode is titled Path to Marriage. And we're talking about just some of the obstacles or the reasons why it's so difficult for dating situations in 2025 to actually develop into healthy marriages. So I guess my initial thought or explanation, and I want to get your opinion on this, do you think that men and women still have the same relationship goals or perspectives on marriage these days? Because I think a lot of women are looking at it as a way to secure the bag and get their bills paid. And I don't think that it's I want to have a family and be together forever that a lot of guys go into it thinking.
All right, so two things. The same goal of marriage, yes. I think that generally speaking, the majority of men and the majority of women still want to do it, right? I took a survey for the women and I asked, hey, how many of y'all still want to get married? 98% say, yes, I do.
I would say close to 100.
Yeah, because women have always dreamed about that since they were little girls. Their wedding, the dress, the destination, the ring, all these different things. They know their ring size, all this is stuff, right? So for women, it's innate in them. It's inside of them to want that type of thing. So yes, I believe it for them. For men, the majority of men, again, can't get women. So if they could get married, these dudes would, to have a woman that they can get consistent sex from. That's what men want, the consistent sex part and a companion and all of that they can talk to and do things with and create a family. So yes, I think majority of people want to do that. Now, the perception of marriage, has that changed? Absolutely, it has changed.
Absolutely.
Yes, it has changed. I think that I don't really think it's changed more so for the women. I think it's more changed for the men, because now the men get to see what happens if it goes bad from the male perspective so much, because now we got so much access to all this information. 70% of women are filing for divorce, right? And then you got these here women that's online leaving husbands for
for stupid reasons.
Yeah, like we ain't talking about nothing that's
serious.
Substantial. Like, yeah, like, he's a serial cheater, he's an abuser, whatever. Cool, we understand that. We talking about women coming on here saying, oh, I had to pay bills that month and I didn't like that. And he knew that I wasn't supposed to be paying no bills, or I wanted more. What the heck is more? I don't really know. I just wanted more. We grew up like doing all these here different things. So men, and then having to spend money, alimony, child support, losing.
I was gonna say, I think the penalties or the result of divorce are, I think,
Yes,
more prevalent as into how men view things. But
of course.
it's common sense. You ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have access to all these stats and lawyers and giving us
Now
details,
you
but
do.
we
Yeah,
always knew the system was unfair to men, and you know what I'm saying, like cheaper to keep her has always been kind of a phrase, but now it's been laid out in great detail where you see headlines and how, you know, like, damn, you rich already, you need $200,000 a month in child support. Like, so some of these outrageous scenario, even though they usually celebrities or people that live a totally
yeah,
different lifestyle than ours, we can still see when it's unfair and excessive, the
hmm
demands and stuff that these women cry about. You know,
yeah,
I like some every now and then the timeline come where they do the Zoom call with the lawyer and they have the
yeah,
women trying to
yeah,
explain
yeah,
themselves, and it's
yeah.
like,
I've seen
man,
it.
some of the stuff that they call these women out on is just crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
so I can definitely understand it, and even with myself getting married at a young age, that was factored into my decision then. You know what I mean? Because I was like, all right, I know if I get divorced, I'm gonna lose about half my stuff. Do I want it to be half to a chick that got with me when I was 30 making good bread? Or would I
That's what I'm
rather
saying.
it be with somebody that was building from the ground up? So that was
Hmm.
my, you know, when I went into marriage, I was starting at zero and she started with me. So that's what made me comfortable with, all right, if we ever do separate or split up, I'm cool with you getting half of what we built together. But I could not feel that way if I was a single man making six figures today. I honestly feel like I would be leaning towards against me getting married.
So this is
So
the boat that I'm in. And it's something that I think about a lot because I still want to get married, but I'm not going to be stupid when doing it. Why? Because my perception of marriage has changed with the way society has changed. Yes, my parents are still married, and I got that. I have other people that are still married, yes. But when I look out into the world and I see how women think about marriage, think about certain things involved with marriage, where it be serving the, oh, I ain't serving nobody. What you want, a maid?
yeah,
You want me to serve you and provide for you? Well, yeah. So they want the benefits of the marriage, and even the women said this. I did a survey for them too, where I said, "Hey, do you think the majority of women today actually want to be married to do the work, or do they want to be married just to say I'm married and had a ceremony?" 85% of women said they just want to be married to have a ceremony. This is women talking about women. So, what do you think the men are going to be thinking? Yes, it's going to change our perception. It's going to make us slower in all these here different things. And we see on social media when something does happen, what do the women say? Get your bag. Uh, get
yeah.
your bag.
It's you got to be weary of it, especially if you're a man
Yeah.
making good money. So I wanted to talk. So you know, being our bachelor of the show per se. Do you have, what does it look like where you would start feeling like you would start considering proposing to a chick? Like, is there a certain criteria that you have? Is there a certain time period? Like, what you as a single man seeing what you know, and you know you got the statistics and the following to be
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
extract
Mhm.
detailed information. What does that look like for you in the real world, to where you actually would
Man,
consider proposing to a chick?
it's really it's the mindset. Okay, the looks gotta come. The looks gotta come with it,
Okay,
right?
that's understood.
Okay. The looks gotta come with it. After that, it's gotta be the mindset. And one thing I always talk about, even when I meet these chicks, I always ask them how they feel about going 50-50 with a man. Always, to see how they gonna respond to it. Not because I want them to go 50-50, because I don't even want my woman to work full time, Terry. I don't need her money. It's the mindset that I'm looking for. Because if a woman will go 50-50, that means if something happens to me and she has to change her lifestyle in order to like work more, in order to pay 50%, she'll be just fine with it because she was fine with it from the beginning. I just told her, no, I don't need it, but this is what I need from you. And she was cool with that. Okay, cool. But a woman who say, I ain't going 50-50 with a man, or get offended just by the question, don't even know why I'm asking, them the ones I push off to the side, because in my mind, they are there for the lifestyle and not the love. So if the lifestyle ever changes and something happens to me, oh, she out the door, because now she got to put in more money. She got to go 50% when she was adamantly against that from the very jump. So it's the mindset. Second, it's, do you actually want to be a wife? Do you find problems in the ways that I need help in my life? I don't need help with money. I need help when I come home from 16 hours and I don't want to fix something to eat. I need help when I come home from 16 hours of work and I don't feel like cleaning up. I want to relax. I want to chill. Is that something that you find joy in? Taking care of a home.
Plan.
Yeah. So
because the ones that say that, they talk about that like it's the most difficult thing in the world until it's a man doing it. I can understand that their mental philosophy on those type of things. Because to me, I don't even see how a dude could seriously date a chick that feel like she can't do nothing for no man. Like why would I even want to take you to have fun or take you to enjoy these experiences if I know you have such a problem with doing anything for me? So
yeah, it
those
ain't
kind
that.
of conversations.
I don't really think that it's like they got a problem doing it for you per se. A lot of them have a problem doing it, period, because they view it as weak. They view it as weak. So they don't they don't think of cooking a meal for a man as being loving. You understand what I'm saying? It's like a man not really wanting to provide for a woman, not that particular woman, but just for women in general. Nah, man, I don't really want to do that, man. Be providing for no chick. She can work on her own. And it's the same mindset when it comes to cooking and cleaning for a man that needs that type of thing. I need you to love doing that. Like I love taking care of you so you ain't got to go out here and hustle 40 hours a week. I love that for my lady to be soft and be more at home and only work 20 hours part-time just to have something to do. I love being able to do that. I want to be able to take care
So
of
let
you.
me ask you this. So
Go ahead.
so right now, if you met a
Yeah.
woman, she was
Yeah.
working full time and all that, do
Yeah.
you think it's practical for her to if her goal was to get to this soft girl era where she has somebody like you that pays her bill and only does 20%, do you think it would be possible for a woman that has been paying her own bills and had to be masculine or take care of herself to actually give you the dating experience that would lead to that? I guess is a question that I have.
I think it's possible, but I don't think it's probable in most cases, because typically you describing a boss chick. That's what you describing. A boss chick that's worked her way up, got her own thing happening, and typically an attitude comes with that, a certain attitude, a certain mindset. And it's a lot tougher to get them out of that, even though in essence they want to be out of it, but it's hard to get them out of that mindset. That's why I personally don't like boss chicks. I like chicks that's doing, that's just working, taking care of themselves, yeah, but they were raised to be wives. It's a complete difference. If she wasn't raised to be a wife and she's a boss chick, no, because she's going to look at that as some type of weakness or slavery or being a maid or something like that. But if she was raised in a home where
you mean like she had a
mom,
she saw a
mom
married,
and
she was raised around
yeah,
a married couple,
yeah,
grandparents, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she's seen it. She's seen it. She actually was trained or groomed to be a wife, catering to her dad, cooking, learning how to do things and stuff like that. They take joy in that. But a woman who wasn't, it's a lot harder to get them out of that hustle mode. And you got to fight tooth and nail to get her out of that. And especially to get her more in the home. Absolutely not. That's why I don't like boss chicks personally.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflict and a lot of challenging questioning your decision and logic that comes with that type of woman. So I could definitely understand. Like I said, those are the type of things where one little small disagreement can throw off the dating phase. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean when I say it don't prevent it to ever getting to that point where you seriously consider marriage because she done blocked you over something stupid, or you know what I'm saying, like there's something that wasn't even related to y'all directly that has been a conflict. You know what I'm saying? Like your comments about Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? Like there would be women that would cut you off over something like that.
Good.
And it's
Cut
like
me off.
yeah,
Yeah.
where they make these detrimental choices and decisions that ultimately derail them from reaching their ultimate relationship goals. So real interesting thought, man. I'm glad I was able to pick your brain and get your thoughts on it. But it looks like we are up against the clock, so we about to get up out of here. Before we go, man, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us safe for our background music. I also want to remind everybody to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. SD, man, I appreciate you linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Ho the Husband Podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.